money's on the way with CashNet USA.
We have made the comment time and again that 3+U is kind of a lunchtime show, so it's fitting that Tish Gailmard is here with Oliver, who's enjoying some lunch today.
Yes.
Or breakfast or whatever.
Yes, this would be his lunch, and it's a little bit of a snack. He'll get more food when we get back to work.
Yeah, some people might remember you in our virtual days had us join you remotely, and you showed us how you prep their food every day.
Yes.
So obviously these are some of the vegetables that you're cutting up.
Yes, we have a really nice relationship with Pruitt's on Signal Mountain, and they give me produce to feed our animals, so they eat very well, a lot of organic produce.
I I told people who you are, but in case you're just tuning in and Tish is not a familiar face to you, she's with Reflection Riding, the Chattanooga Nature Center.
Right.
And over the course of what, Tish, would you say the last year and a half, y'all have really opened your mission. You haven't changed it, you've just opened it to make it much more accessible to people.
Yes, we have stopped charging an admission fee, and we're just requesting a donation when you come on the property, a suggested donation. Our memberships are still in place, but we're trying to be really inclusive to everyone in the community. We are a community organization. We're here for the community.
Yeah.
So we want everyone to be able to access it.
Well, and you're showing people in different offerings that you have the relevance that the beautiful land there can bring to everybody, whether you're a church group or a business looking for a convention site or you name it.
Exactly. We have so many different options. Come out, ride your bike, walk your dog, have a meeting on our property, bring your church group and volunteer on the property. There's just a lot of ways to get involved.
You find, I think a lot of people in this COVID season have discovered some different sides of themselves, right? Maybe you've begun an exercise routine and you find now that you want to keep it going, or a certain meal that you've begun to prep at home and you want to keep that going.
Yes.
There's an addictive quality, if you will, to being outside and spending time outside.
Absolutely is. That's really a great point. I'm outside every day, and I cannot imagine it any other way. It's what makes me feel good. You know, it centers me. It's great mentally, it's great physically, and it's proven, science has proven that being outside is healthy.
And there's a big difference from walking your neighborhood, which is great, to being in the woods.
Yes. Yes, being out in the woods, there's something called forest bathing that some Europeans actually practice. And at our facility, you can easily forest bathe on 317 acres. And it's so healthy, and it feels good. It centers you.
I'm having so much fun watching Oliver. I've forgotten some of the points that you wanted to make sure you touched on, because I would think the fall season is prime time for you.
This is such a great time to be on the property. The temperature is perfect. The colors are going to be changing toward the end of the month, and our property is spectacular when the leaves change. And we've got a lot of cool things happening right now. We're not having a plant sale per se, but you can come and buy plants Tuesday through Saturday from 9 to 3, and we have a huge selection, bigger than we've ever had before. We've actually gone out and bought some azaleas and some other shrubs and trees that we've never had before that are native. So it's a really great time to come and buy plants. And there's always someone down at the nursery that can help you. And then we're doing a photo contest. So for the month of October, when you're out on the property, bring your camera, get some great shots, and submit them to our photo contest. Then every Saturday in October, we're doing a scavenger hunt on the property. This is fun for little people and young families. You go out and do a nature scavenger hunt. You know, find a spider, find a colored leaf, find moving water. You know, really fun stuff that makes you really tune into your environment. And then we're also doing the small group tours still, which have been really popular.
Those ideas.
You know, and this is becoming something that people are really excited about, because you get to go out with me or another staff member and meet our animals individually like this. There's one tour where you can hold Oliver, you can hold a bird, hold a hawk, hold an owl. You can go have a tour of our nursery, You can go for a hike with a hawk. You can do a pond study, all kinds of stuff.
And if you just watched her on 3+U, you might think there's got to be some magic trick to all of this. These animals can't be quite this tame, or that snake couldn't have really kissed her on the cheek like we talk about all the time. But all of the animals, like the ones you're talking about with Oliver and his compatriots, they have something that keeps them from being able to live in the wild.
Right. They don't have the skills that they need to be successful in the forest. They've had some type of injury. And Oliver does not have a physical injury, but he's habituated to people. He was stolen from the wild as an infant and kept as a pet. And that is entirely illegal. So he has no idea how to be a wild possum. So if we were to release him, he probably would not forage very well.
So
he would wonder where his food was.
Is that why you can trust him to be so friendly? Or does he still have those possum instincts?
He still has those wild animal instincts.
Okay.
We do work with the animals, and we are around them quite a bit, but they are still unpredictable. These are wild animals.
So he is fascinating to me, all possums are, because I want you to look however much you can at just the differences within his one body. So you've got this obvious, he's a rodent, right?
They're actually marsupials.
Okay, so there's my mistake. But look at that little face and his nose that's meant for burrowing. Is that right? Does he dig for stuff?
No, he doesn't. He uses his feet to dig.
Well, they're my favorite part of him.
His feet are my favorite too. They're very much like ours. Big old paw with five fingers, and then his back foot.
Look how he lets you do that,
He actually has an opposable thumb on this back foot, just like our opposable thumb. And he's got a semi-prehensile tail.
Well, and look at the markings on his tail. It almost looks snake-like in its texture.
Yeah, like little scales. And you can see he'll curl his tail around my finger sometimes. And a lot of people think possums hang from their tails, but they don't. They actually use it for balance. So when he's climbing, he'll wrap his tail around a tree limb, climb down, then re-wrap, climb down. And then they're excellent swimmers. So they use their tail like a rudder when they swim.
Okay, so is that why his hair is the way it is? It's kind of wiry. Does that help him dry off faster?
Yes, all these guard hairs on top are going to take all the moisture, and then the underneath stays dry. Yep.
Unbelievable.
Exactly.
Okay, then
his ears
are almost leathery
little
looking.
leathery ears, right? And then tiny little black eyes, a pointed head to hold 50 teeth. That's the most of any mammal in North America.
Is that why he has the pointed head?
Get all those teeth in there. The only sense on him that works really well is that nose. They are nocturnal, and they forage for their food by smell. They don't see well, and they don't hear well. But the nose works extremely well.
For women who love to go and get their eyebrows waxed, they might not really like Oliver's eyebrows. He has just this one errant brow. Or
all these crazy whiskers.
Whiskers, yeah.
And that helps him, feel where he's going. If he's going to stick his head down in a hole to try to find something, those whiskers help him feel where he is in that hole.
So, are they omnivores?
They are omnivores. Very good. Yay. Fruits, veggies, and meat. And they need a really balanced diet. They can get something called metabolic bone disease if they don't have a balanced diet. And of course, in nature, their parents teach them what to eat when they're young possums. So for us, we try very hard to give him a balanced diet. For instance, this morning, he's got cauliflower and broccoli and scrambled eggs and several kinds of fruit and then other vegetables.
He had an omelet.
It is kind of like a really gourmet omelet. He's still eating a little bit of corn right now. And then also he gets meat every other day, and it's meat with bone. They need that bone for the calcium.
So how old would he live in the wild?
In the wild, maybe 1 to 2 years.
What?
Yeah, very short-lived. Their systems are very slow, and they just are here for a very brief time. They have lots of babies, and their systems are really slow. They typically do not get rabies, and they're also immune to snake venom.
So that's a myth that they are rabid.
They typically don't, 99% of the time they don't get rabies, and they do predate on venomous snakes because they're immune to snake venom. Great animal to have around. They consume a massive amount of ticks every season.
So if you see them in your yard, let them be there.
Absolutely let them be there. This is nature's garbage man too. They clean up the forest for us and they keep us healthy.
Listen, Oliver is a great name, but she could have also called him Templeton.
Oh, that would have been even better. You're right.
He looks like
That'll
a Templeton.
be our next possum.
Okay, so the Nature Center, I think the takeaway is that there is literally something for everyone.
Yes.
I'll race you to the finish line on the idea of the small group experience as a great holiday gift idea. I think that's a fantastic
Perfect.
one.
Perfect.
But enjoy fall in the splendor of their 317 acres, and maybe you'll have a chance to meet Oliver. Thank you, Tish.
Thank you.